less interested, shall we say, in the environmental agenda and a different view of energy policy than certainly I did. But when I was during my 4 years in state government in Massachusetts, we saw more than 100-fold increase in solar power. We saw our greenhouse gas emissions, which are now down 17% below where they were in 1990 levels. And so my message to you is that don't forget about state government. It's a place where remarkable things can happen. So thank you, Governor Abachi, for having us here today. Delighted to join you. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. We thank Mr. Boyles for his advice there, reminding us about the shale gas revolution and its impact on changing energy markets, but also, very importantly, about what can be done at state, and I should say at local levels, as Prime Minister Fillon also had emphasized. So it's important for us to look at those levels of local level, state level. There's tremendous impact that can be created there, and those of us working at those levels, such as Governor Rotimi Amechi, his cabinet, and others, to be mindful of the impact that we can make. Last but certainly not of least, I would like to invite Professor Eddie Ayensu. Professor Ayensu is a compatriot from Ghana, who for many years, indeed for 20 years, was head of the Smithsonian Institute in Washington, D.C. in the United States, retired from the World Bank, and has been an international consultant on many, many topics, including the environment, and we're very privileged to have him as part of this eminent panel today. Uncle Eddie, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chambers. I hate to sit down to talk to eminent people. So if you don't mind, I will stand. First of all, let me congratulate the Right Honorable, the Governor of this state, Mr. Amechi, for inviting us to participate in this forum. You have to go to lunch, so I'm not going to bore you with a long talk. But what I would like to suggest is that we've had a number of exceedingly very important points made by the panelists. I'm hoping that, Mr. Moderator, you're going to make sure that all these are collected and published. The reason is there are quite a number of some very key issues that have been raised, and I think it will be unfortunate if, because of time constraints, we just speak for a few minutes and you don't get the opportunity of handling this. Now, we've heard a lot about how well Nigeria is doing, how well the governor is doing for the state, and I subscribe to all of them. However, I want to make just a few points. Yesterday, my former president chastised me that those of us who have had the opportunity of working all over the world, we don't speak up enough. And Mr. President, I want to assure you that we do want to speak a lot, but sometimes the environment in which we operate doesn't allow us. Let me say that we have heard a lot about all the development activities. We've heard a lot about how well we've been doing on the continent in the last few decades. I'm not very happy. I'm not happy simply because I don't think that if you look at the natural resource base of this continent, you look at even the little human capacity we have at our command, there shouldn't be poor people walking around this continent of ours. You have right now in this state, all the hydrocarbons we can talk about. As I was flying in with my colleagues yesterday, I looked at the level of devastation with respect to our forests. You know, the energy we have right now in the form of oil and gas cannot sustain us. The cheapest energy that we should be tapping into, because all the technological innovations that we have at our command today say that we should be thinking about using solar in a big way. And I think it is a sad commentary on all of us when more than 80% of our rural populations are off-grid and they have no light. We must use these technologies. They are available. We can use them now. And to prove that this works, the organization that I'm involved in, the Energy Globe Foundation, we've done some experiments at home. And I wanted my own president to know that during the last election, I was driving towards one of our dams. I just, in fact, published a book on the Volta River. And I saw a sign that said, "No light, no votes." And so I asked my driver to stop. I went into the village, and what did I see? There was an old lady sitting in a room. And I said, "Madam, you don't have light." She said, "Since she was born." I said, "How old are you?" 74. Older than my president and myself at the time. And I said, "In a few weeks, I'm going to supply you with lights." So I called Austria, and I said that, "Can I get some of these solar panels so that we can wire some few villages?" I said, "I need about a dozen." They said, no. "Do you have enough for about 100 villages or so?" I said, "Of course." And guess what? In 6 weeks, we were able to wire all the houses in this village. And also, guess what? It takes only 20 minutes, 25 minutes to supply them with 50-watt, 3 bulbs each, with a box that you can also charge your phones. And when that happened, I thought, well, let's watch and see. But as an academic, the first thing I did was to employ the teachers to track the progress of the students. You'll be interested to know that their productivity in the last year and a half has increased more than 300%. That's not all. There are a lot of ladies who weave baskets and little crafts for their livelihood. Their productivity has increased enormously, all because of the extension of light facilities for these little hamlets. You may also like to know that we don't even need any help from outside, frankly, to do that today here on this continent. And I'm trying to use this forum to address our own leaders that there are a lot of things we could do home-wise if we really want to improve the livelihood security of our people. Now, there is one other point that I would like to make. It involves the amount